Hi guys, in today's video we're going to go through how you can retire in just 20 years. In the first half of the video we're going to go through how much money you will require to reach financial independence using the 4% rule, and in the second half of the video we're going to go through savings rates and how much of your income you need to save to be financially free. I must also just say this is not financial advice, and before making any financial decision make sure you do your own research. Before we get started, please just let me introduce myself. My name's Gary. I run this channel Free Your Finance. I talk about investing, property and the journey towards financial independence. If this sounds like something you may wish to watch a little more of, don't forget you can hit that subscribe button below. So I am on the journey towards being financially free by 35 years old. But some of you may well be asking, what is financial independence? Financial independence is the status of having enough income to pay one's living expenses for the rest of one's life without having to be employed or dependent on others. Now, this income can come from multiple places, such as passive businesses that you've set up, rental properties, investments and savings accounts. You may well have also heard of financial independence called FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. Personally, for me, I'm skipping the RE bit as I don't plan to retire early. I really enjoy the job that I do, and instead the reason I'm pursuing FI is more for security should I ever not be able to work. It will also allow me the freedom to pick and choose when I work and how much time I wish to take off. So the first big question is, how much do we need to retire? To answer this question, first of all we need to work out how much you spend each year. It could be a good idea to keep track of your spending via either a mobile app, a spreadsheet or a method that suits you best. This will help us learn how much we need to sustain the lifestyle that we have right now. Then we are able to introduce something called the 4% rule, also known as the rule of 25. This is going to help us work out how much money we need to never run out. It's important for me to say that this is just a rule of thumb. To give you a little bit of information about it, it was first introduced as the Trinity Study, a paper written by 3 finance professors at the Trinity University. The 3 professors studied large amount of withdrawal rates, stock and bond allocations ranging from 0% stocks to 100% stocks and everything in between, and investing periods between 1926 and 1995. The Trinity Study has also been re-updated by a few different other sources multiple times since 95, the latest one I come across with data all the way up to 2018. Testing a large amount of withdrawal start dates, they found that if you were to withdraw 4% of your investments in the first year and then very slowly increasing your withdrawal each year to account for inflation, your money would last 30 years in over 95% of their tests. This was made up from a portfolio of 50% stocks and 50% bonds. In some periods, your money actually grew more than the original investment. During these periods, you have to remember that hopefully your portfolio has been growing. Some state an average of around 7%-ish, depending what and whom you read. Therefore, the theory is the money that you actually withdraw is actually the growth and the income that your investments have provided and not your original amount. Let's say that you and your family right now require £40,000 per year to live off of. To work out the amount of money that you would require, you would get your £40,000 and times it by 25, which gives you £1 million. 4% of 1 million is, guess what? £40,000. Quite a lot of money. Now, this is presuming that you want to maintain your current lifestyle. A lot of your income right now may actually be spent on work. Things like expensive train tickets into the city, work clothes, and paying for childcare while you're at work. If this is the case, then the amount you require once you reach retirement may actually be less, as your expenses may have gone down. On the other hand, right now you may be living a very frugal life, and once you reach retirement you may want to be holidaying 3 or 4 times a year. This may well push your expenses up, which obviously you need to take into consideration when working out your FI number. The 4% rule has been questioned many times over the years, and some FIRE followers actually adjust the idea of it to suit their preferred understanding of it. Some that I have read aim for a 3% withdrawal rate. As I previously said, don't forget it is just a rule of thumb and something to use as a guideline. You may well be thinking, well, if I do retire early, I hope to live more than 30 years, what happens then? The thing you need to understand is you have control of this. If you did reach retirement and you were using this 4% withdrawal rate and you found that your investments were going down too quickly, you could always lower your withdrawal rate. This is why some people aim for something known as a fat FIRE number, which means they have more than enough in their FI balance. You could also take on a part-time job. Let's face it, many of your peers are going to be working at least until their late 60s. If you had to take on a part-time job in your mid-40s or mid-50s, would that be that bad? This is also presuming that you never earn another penny from other sources. Lots of people pursue their dreams when they reach retirement, and they start side hustles that they've always dreamt to try. They may write blogs or books, or even start a YouTube channel. These hobbies that they pick up in retirement may well end up being able to be monetized and give them a further wage. So don't forget, things can be adjusted and amended. Of course, you do also need to take into consideration market crashes and dips, and that is something you need to decide where you sit. Now, if you're anything like me, you may already have some passive incomes coming into your account. So one of my main ones is rental properties. These properties are hopefully going to pay me a wage in retirement. That means that I can take that amount into consideration when working out my final FI number. Let's say my FI number is the same as the example I used earlier, so I require £40,000 a year to live from. However, my passive incomes already provide me with £20,000 of this. Then of course my FI number only needs to replace the remaining £20,000. £20,000 times 25 equals 500,000. Before I move on to how much money you need to save from your income, I must recommend two sources that I found very helpful for this. The first one is probably one of my favourite books I've ever read. It's called The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. I'll leave the link to the book in the description below. The second one is a blog wrote by Big Earn, Early Retirement Now. He has a whole blog series all about the 4% withdrawal rate. I would highly recommend you go and check it out and give it a read if you're interested in finding out more about this. So finally, we're going to move on to how much of your income do you need to save to reach your FI goal. To explain this, we're going to use the Net Worth FI calculator. Now, the calculator is making some assumptions. It's assuming a 5% investment return, 4% withdrawal rate, your current annual expenses equal your annual expenses in retirement, that you never want to withdraw from your original principal. Your current annual income is after taxes, and your annual return on investments is after taxes and inflation. So you could plug in the numbers in this calculator to match your lifestyle. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. But for today's example, I'm going to use a family that earn a combined income of £80,000 after taxes. They have current investment savings of £100,000. If they spend £80,000 per year of their £80,000 salary, this will mean they have a 0% savings rate. Luckily, they have that £100,000 investment saved, which means they'll be able to retire in 61.4 years using this method. However, if we also start introducing a savings rate from their income, you will see how their retirement date will very quickly move forward. With a 10% savings rate, this takes the time down to 41.4 years. With a 20% savings rate, this takes the time down to 31.2 years. In the title of this video, I told you I was going to find out how long it would take to retire in 20 years. For this family, they require a savings rate of 37.4%. This is saving £29,920 a year of their £80,000 salary. Why not play around with a calculator and see what you get? Now, there is two ways that we can bring the date down from our original retirement date. The first one we've just gone through, it's increasing your savings rate. So every penny that you can save, whether or not it be from memberships you're no longer using, to saving on food or housing costs, whatever you can do to reduce your spending but increase your savings into your investment vehicles is really going to help. And then the second way is to increase your earnings. As your earnings increase, as long as you avoid lifestyle inflation, then technically you should be able to increase your savings rate too. You could either work hard to get a pay rise in your current job, or you can introduce side hustles that help increase your earnings each month. I'm going to put a link to a video I made on my 10 income streams in the top corner of this video. Now, even if your dream is not to reach FIRE, or you think you're never going to be able to, even saving £5,000 to £10,000 over the years is going to be such a help. Just think if you lost your job but you had £10,000 in the bank. Can you imagine how much that would help you at what would probably be a very stressful point of your life? If you found today's video helpful, can I ask you just hit the thumbs up? It really helps a small channel like mine grow. Apart from that, I'm all done, and I hope to speak to you very, very soon. Take care, guys.